see, self-help books are designed to help you help yourself. They're books on managing your finances, navigating your career, and even running a successful business. In fact, the subject matter is endless. At the age of 25, I was diagnosed with depression. My depression came as a result of the fact that my career may be falling apart and I'm stuck. You see, I purchased the self-help books, the ones that spoke about planning, visualization, attracting things to yourself, and I was on track to achieving my dreams. But my dream was to be a television anchor.
All right, now this morning on The Morning Show, we get to know broadcaster Anastasia Arendse. She has been one of the leading women in the financial sector and continues to break boundaries, giving young girls and women all the proof necessary of the validity of their dreams. Anastasia, welcome to The Morning Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about Anastasia growing up, her childhood. What was that like for you?
I think it was a very sheltered childhood. My parents were very overprotective, and I think they didn't allow sort of idle time. So you were always busy going from school to various activities, which was great. And what was nice is that socialization was very important for them, so that you get to know people just outside of your own community and you get to hang out with other people. And it's one of those things where I always say, a friend of mine, like, people who are high achievers always hang out with high achievers. I don't know, it's like a high school thing. Like all the smart people hang out in cliques, and you sort of move with that crowd of people. And then I think that was the basis of my childhood, where you were trying to achieve, not necessarily to impress others, but it was for yourself.
But it sounds like you had like strict parents, right? Did they somewhat play a role in your decision to then follow finance as what you want to do, especially in broadcasting?
So I like numbers. I'm pretty good with numbers. It's just that I didn't know what I wanted to actually be or actually pursue. Okay. So even in varsity, my undergrad was engineering. Okay. And then I pivoted and switched to broadcasting, and it wasn't because I hated what I was doing. It was just that I wanted something that would excite me. And I think at the time, perhaps career options weren't as fluid as they are now. So where you understand that if you have studied engineering, you don't have to be working at a power plant. Yeah. You could go into banking, you could go into any other industry where they love people who like numbers or who are analytical and they like structure. Sure. But I also had this fun personality, so I was like, well, I don't really see myself working in that industry for the rest of my life, so what else can I do? And some really good friends of mine said, well, have you ever considered financial journalism? Because then what you can do is that you tie your love for numbers with the ability to help people understand what's going on in finance. And the great niche is that not a lot of female Black women are in that industry.
For you, what was it about your dreams that had you feeling like, I don't care, I'm going to do this?
I guess for me it was, you've got nothing to lose. Like, if you don't do it, 10 years from now, you don't want to have the regret and be sitting in a job that you really don't like and wonder, or have a sense of not being happy for others because others pursued their dreams. You don't want that resentful feeling. So go do it. And if it doesn't work out, you pick yourself up and you try again. And maybe you'll have a good story to tell about how you once tried broadcasting and you realized being a lawyer was the thing for you. But at least you won't have any regrets. And I think that's the thing for me. It's like, if you don't do it, when are you going to do it? And there'll never be a right time.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you've learned about money or finance, seeing that, you are in the space over the years?
I wish I'd started earlier in my finance and investment journey. Okay. I didn't have the guidance in that aspect. It's weird, I had the guidance on the career side, but when it comes to my own money, there wasn't anyone saying, save as much as you can right now. Think about retirement. That fancy car, you don't really need to be paying 15,000 Rand installment. Think about being practical. Think about the fact that this car's going to depreciate. Think long term about the fact that, you want to have emergency money and all that kind of thing. So that's the one thing I wish I knew about my finance journey. And also just how the industry makes it so difficult. I think we've got so much jargon out there and it's so complicated and we just overwhelm others. And if you just really start small and you just start watching investment programs or you just read up a little bit and you can teach yourself anything on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another thing that I wish I'd utilized to its full capacity, the way others are doing so.
Yeah, but you've also spoken about your journey and how you've faced tough times and how you've dealt with depression, right? And we're finding the conversation around mental health being an important one of late. For you, your journey with dealing with depression and somewhat, getting through those challenges, how did you overcome it, if you have?
It's a work in progress. And I think at the time, you talk to friends, and I think if you really have good friends or people who are paying attention to you and who are listening, they'll start seeing patterns in the way in which you're seeing the world and the way in which you see yourself. And one or two will say, look, I think you should speak to somebody professionally who'll be able to assist you because we're always here for you, but there are other aspects that we are not able to help you tackle. And you need somebody who can help you think clearly and to also support you, whether it's supporting you with the sessions and also supporting you, whether it's from a medical perspective as well. So my friends were quite honest about that. Like, listen, we think you need to talk to somebody and get through it.
I have one last question. We've run out of time, but I have to ask this question. So in your TED Talk, you talk about asking yourself the hard questions, right? To wrap it up, what's been the hardest question you've ever had to ask yourself?
Am I doing enough?
Sure.
That is the hardest question. Am I doing enough for myself? And am I doing enough for others who are watching me?
Sure.
That is the hardest question.
Sure. Look, oh my gosh, I wish this was like a full-on talk show because I just have so many questions. But Nastasia, thank you so much for giving us your time. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
I had good fun.
That was Nastasia Arendse right here on The Morning Show, our inspirational woman of the week. Let's take a break. We'll be back after this.